There's something about you that has always made people wonder. They can't quite name it, but they feel it. It's not just your boldness, not just your humor, not even your fire. It's the way you walk into a room and shift the entire temperature without saying a word. The way you laugh like someone who knows things others don't. And the way you leave swift, silent, and yet unforgettable. If you were born under Sagittarius, you were never meant to be simple. You were meant to be vast. To burn not just brightly, but wildly. To carry a map inside your soul that no one else was given. And that map, it doesn't lead to comfort. It leads to destiny. From the outside, they call you adventurous. From the inside, you know the truth. You're not just chasing new places, you're chasing pieces of yourself. Pieces scattered across people, lifetimes, lessons, and places you haven't even visited yet. And still you feel them calling. The cities you haven't walked through. The conversations you haven't had. The love that still lives somewhere on a parallel street, waiting for the day you pass by. You Sagittarius don't just live on this earth, you translate it, you challenge it, you transform it. But here's what no one tells you. Most people will never understand what drives you. They'll try to explain you with cliches. You just love freedom. You're too blunt. You're afraid of commitment. But that's not the full story, is it? Because beneath every bold move you make is a silent fire. A psychological pattern. A soul contract. A hidden law that even you are still discovering. And today, we're going to uncover 25 psychological realities that don't just describe you. They shape your entire destiny. Each one of these flames is alive inside you. Whether you've mastered them, misunderstood them, or are still running from them. Some will make you nod in quiet recognition. Some may sting. Others may leave you speechless. But together, they form the secret code that makes you Sagittarius. Not the zodiac cliché, not the meme version, but the real mythic, untamable spiritual fire that you are. Because being Sagittarius isn't just about being fun or free. It's about being designed for more. More questions, more depth, more truth. You were built to search for meaning where others settle for survival. You were born to speak truth where others bite their tongue. You were born to walk alone when the path no longer matches your spirit. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough to leave anything that dims you. And that Sagittarius is why you scare people. Not because you're too loud, but because your silence often speaks the loudest. You see what others pretend not to. You say what others whisper only to themselves. You move when others stall, and that makes you a living fire the world can't control. So if you've ever felt misunderstood for leaving too soon, judged for being too honest, torn between your love for someone and your need for your soul, this video is for you. You're not crazy, you're not lost, you're not too much, you're Sagittarius. And your psychology is fire wrapped in instinct, longing, and prophecy. Now here's what I invite you to do as we reveal these 25 little-known psychological realities. Don't just listen. Witness yourself. Reflect. And if a truth hits you in the chest, comment it. Speak it. Let others see your flame and recognize it in themselves. Because chances are, someone else watching this video has the same fire. And maybe, just maybe, your truth will awaken theirs. So let's begin the journey into your hidden mind. Let's decode the spiritual blueprint behind your restlessness. Let's awaken what has always been burning inside you. This is the Sagittarius Flame, and you're about to see why you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to blaze through. Which part of this hit you the hardest? Comment your Sagittarius birth date and let others know the fire lives in you too. Fact 25. The fire that burns through illusion. You've always known when something felt off. Even as a child, you could sense when someone was pretending smiling on the surface but hiding something sharp underneath. You never needed anyone to explain the room to you. Your mind does it automatically. This is the first psychological truth that quietly shapes your destiny. As a Sagittarius, your spirit burns through illusion. Others may see charm. You see patterns. They hear words. You read energy. And when someone lies to you, something inside shifts. You may not always call it out in the moment, but you never forget it. Because Sagittarius doesn't forget truth. They absorb it through instinct, through fire, through pattern recognition that few understand. This ability has cost you more than people realize. You've been told you're too intense, too blunt, too suspicious. But those who say that they're the ones who weren't ready to be seen. And Sagittarius always sees what others work so hard to hide. It's not just about calling out a lie. It's about sensing what's behind the performance. What people want, what they fear, what they deny. And often, it's overwhelming. But you've never been one to turn away from the truth, even if it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Because illusion suffocates you. You can't breathe in places where truth is masked. You can't thrive in relationships where people only offer a version of themselves. You demand authenticity, not because you're harsh, but because your soul can't survive without it. If you've ever lost someone because you told them what no one else dared say, know this, that was never a loss. That was a clearing. And every time you clear the fog, you create space for something real to enter. Life lesson. Your fire was not made to entertain. It was made to reveal. And that revelation may isolate you at times, but it will never destroy you. Because clarity for a Sagittarius is not optional. It is survival. Have you ever sensed something before it was revealed? Right. I saw the truth before they spoke it in the comments. If this is something you've lived through. But truth isn't where your power ends. Because once Sagittarius burns away illusion, something else happens. You begin to rebuild. And that's where the second truth reveals itself. Fact 24. The mind that solves chaos while burning. You've probably heard people call you reckless, wild, restless. And in some ways they're right. Your energy moves fast. Your thoughts travel far. Your spirit refuses to sit still. But what they miss is this: when everything around you collapses, you begin to focus. This is the second psychological truth about you in the heart of chaos. Your mind activates with extraordinary precision. While others freeze in uncertainty, you begin scanning for possibilities. You see connections others overlook. You intuit solutions while everyone else is still asking what went wrong. It's not logic alone. It's spiritual pattern recognition. A sacred flame that awakens when life gets most unpredictable. You don't need a clear path. You become the path. It's not that you enjoy the storm, but you've always known how to move through one. There's something about breakdown that sharpens your senses. You don't run from it. You alchemize it. Think about the times when everything seemed to fall apart, yet somehow you found your way. Maybe no one saw the work you did behind the scenes. Maybe they still don't understand how you kept your inner world intact. But you do. And that's what matters. You are a strategist born of fire, not trained in structure but formed in survival. You don't follow blueprints. You design your own. People may think you're just lucky, that things always work out for you. But that's not luck. That's the Sagittarius mind at work. A mind that never sleeps during crisis. A mind that thrives when the world turns upside down. Life lesson. You were never meant to be the quiet one in the background. You were built to step forward when things fall apart, not to control the chaos, but to move through it and extract wisdom others cannot. Have you ever solved a situation that felt impossible just by trusting your instincts? Right. I become clear when things collapse in the comments if you've lived this truth. But Sagittarius doesn't just solve things in silence. Once the truth is seen and the storm passes, there's one thing left to do. And most people are terrified of it, speaking it out loud. And you never hesitate. Fact 23. The instinct to speak truth, even when it costs you. You've probably been told to stay quiet before. Don't say that out loud. Let it go. Now's not the time. But for you, Sagittarius, there is no such thing as the wrong time for truth. This is one of the core psychological traits shaping your entire path. You were born with an inner compulsion to speak the truth even when it breaks the room in half. It's not because you like conflict. It's because your soul can't tolerate pretense. You feel tension, like a psychic weight on your chest. You hear what others are too polite to say, and somewhere between your gut and your throat, the truth starts to rise without permission. You don't script it, you don't rehearse, you just speak. And that has made you the target of discomfort more times than you can count. Because people don't always want the truth. Especially not when it comes unfiltered, direct, and without apology. But here's the deeper story. Most people never ask, how many times did you speak up for someone else? How often were you the only voice in the room willing to stand up and say, this isn't right, because your fire isn't fueled by ego. It's fueled by justice, even when you're shaking. Even when the cost is your job, your reputation, or your place in someone's life, you speak anyway. Because staying silent feels like betrayal, not of others, but of yourself. Life lesson. Your voice carries a vibration that others are still learning to handle. Speak it anyway. The right people won't be scared by your truth. They'll be healed by it. Have you ever lost something or someone because you told the truth too soon? Write my truth. Cost me. But I would do it again if this is your experience. But if truth is your inner compass, then love is your greatest test. Especially for Sagittarius men whose relationships often rise or fall based on one single factor: honesty. Fact 22. Why Sagittarius men value directness in love. Sagittarius men carry a strange paradox inside them. They crave connection, passion, intimacy. Yet they will walk away from all of it in a heartbeat if they sense a lie. To love a Sagittarius man is to understand this psychological core. He is allergic to manipulation. He doesn't want you to chase him. He doesn't want you to play games. He wants clarity, clean energy. A bold voice that says, "Here I am, no masks." He may flirt playfully, laugh with ease, joke about everything under the sun. But the moment something feels off, an inconsistent tone, a hidden motive, a half-truth, his energy changes. Not slowly, instantly. He will pull back emotionally or physically, and you'll feel it like a door that was open, closing without warning. Because Sagittarius men don't just value honesty, they require it. It's not about control. It's about safety, emotional safety, mental clarity. He needs to know that the person beside him is standing in their full truth, just like he is. If you ask him a question, he'll tell you the truth. If he loves you, he'll show you in 100 unexpected ways. But he won't decode riddles. He won't tolerate mixed signals. He's too busy following a fire that moves in one direction, only forward. Life lesson. Directness is not optional for Sagittarius men. If you want their heart, meet them in honesty or don't meet them at all. Have you ever been in love with someone who couldn't handle your truth? Right. I need honesty to feel safe if you've lived this in a relationship. But while Sagittarius men demand directness, Sagittarius women offer something else entirely. a natural, radiant magic that no one can fake, copy, or resist. Fact 21. The carefree charisma of Sagittarius women. She doesn't try to be magnetic. She just is. When a Sagittarius woman walks into a space, something in the atmosphere changes. It's not loud. It's not forced. It's energy. It's the way she smiles, like she knows the ending to a secret story. The way her eyes light up when she talks about her dreams. The way she makes you believe that freedom is a love language and joy is a revolution. This is one of her deepest psychological traits. Her charisma isn't performative. It's sourced from inner liberation. She doesn't need to control the room. She just owns her energy so deeply that the room begins to adjust around her. You can't contain her with titles, roles, or expectations. She might fit into none of them and yet somehow still belong everywhere. She'll listen to your pain and make you laugh in the middle of it. She'll vanish for 3 days, then come back with a gift and a story that makes you feel like time didn't pass at all. Her charm doesn't come from her looks. It comes from her spirit. A spirit that isn't trying to prove anything, only to be everything she is without shrinking. And that's why people remember her. Even after years, even after she's gone, there's a fire she leaves behind that doesn't go out. Life lesson. You don't have to perform to be powerful. You just have to be fully present. And that's what Sagittarius women teach the world. Effortless presence is irresistible. Have you ever been told you're magnetic even when you weren't trying? Right. My presence shifts the energy if this truth lives in you. But as radiant as she is in the spotlight, there's something most people never guess about her. She treasures silence, and that truth changes everything. Fact 20. Sagittarius thrives on freedom and withers without it. There's one thing you need to understand about Sagittarius before anything else makes sense. Freedom is not a preference. It is the very oxygen of their soul. Sagittarius thrives when they are unbound, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They need to roam, explore, question, and expand. Give them space, and they become the most vibrant version of themselves. Try to trap them and watch their light begin to dim one day at a time. This psychological truth goes far beyond the stereotype of being adventurous. The Sagittarius craving for freedom is biological, emotional, cosmic. When they feel confined by a relationship, a job, a label, they don't just get restless. They start to shut down. You may have seen it before. One day they're laughing, dreaming, overflowing with energy. The next, they've gone quiet. Eyes a little dimmer, a little further away. It's not distance, it's a signal. Their spirit is choking. And here's the deeper truth. They don't need distance to run away from you. They need distance to remember themselves. They're not disappearing. They're restoring. And if you let them, they'll always return clearer, fuller, truer. Life lesson. You can't own a flame, but you can protect the space where it burns. Sagittarius doesn't need control. They need trust, movement, and room to evolve. Have you ever lost your fire because someone tried to control you? Right, freedom brings me back to life, if this resonates. And yet, for all their energy, all their movement, there's a side to Sagittarius few ever expect. A side that seeks not noise but silence. Fact 19. Sagittarius women find strength in serenity. She laughs easily, she moves quickly, she lights up the room like it's second nature. But what people rarely understand about a Sagittarius woman is how deeply she values quiet. It's not the kind of silence that avoids or escapes. It's the kind of silence that heals. You'll see her in a crowd owning the moment with her charm. But you'll also find her on a porch at dusk alone, wrapped in a blanket, watching the wind move through trees. In that stillness, she resets. In that stillness, she listens to herself, to the stars, to the parts of her spirit that can't speak over the noise. This psychological reality defines much of her emotional strength. Her peace is not passivity. It's a choice, a ritual, a return. It's how she keeps her center. It's how she realigns with her truth. And it's why she always rises after heartbreak, after burnout, after being misunderstood. Because she knows the power of stopping, of going inward, of choosing stillness when the world demands motion. Life lesson. A Sagittarius woman doesn't lose herself in the chaos because she regularly meets herself in the calm. Stillness is not her weakness. It is her superpower. Do you recharge in silence, even when others don't understand it? Right, my silence is sacred if this is part of your truth. And perhaps that's what makes Sagittarius so paradoxical. They are radiant yet grounded, fiery yet centered, and most of all, they are generous beyond what people deserve. Fact 18. Sagittarius gives generously from the heart, not for the credit. If you've ever been loved by a Sagittarius, you know one thing for sure. They give without asking, without keeping score, without waiting for applause. This is one of their deepest psychological drivers, a soul-level generosity that flows from joy, not obligation. They give because it feels right, because in their world, energy is meant to circulate. If they have it, time, money, presence, love, they share it. They don't calculate return. They trust the universe to handle the math. But here's the shadow side. Their generosity is often misunderstood. People mistake it for naivety. They take without reciprocating. And over time, Sagittarius learns a hard truth. Not everyone gives back what they receive. But even when burned, Sagittarius doesn't become cold. They just become wiser with their warmth. Because the fire doesn't stop burning, it just learns where to shine and where to withhold. Their optimism is resilient but not blind. Their heart is open but not without discernment. Life lesson. Giving is sacred, but so is knowing who deserves your light. Sagittarius doesn't stop loving. They learn to love with boundaries. Have you ever been taken for granted because of how much you give? Right. I give with fire, not fear, if this truth lives in you. And behind that, giving behind that glowing exterior, lies a complex emotional world. Sagittarius may seem easy to understand, but when you truly get close, you realize there's so much more under the surface. Fact 17. Sagittarius is joyful on the surface, complex at the core. At first glance, Sagittarius seems simple to read. They laugh easily. They love loudly. They move through life like it's one big festival of curiosity and color. And yet get closer and you'll notice something else. A shadow flickering behind the smile. A silence behind the adventure. Because this is the next psychological truth that shapes Sagittarius' destiny. Their light doesn't cancel their depth. It coexists with it. Sagittarius carries two worlds inside them. One is bright, extroverted, impulsive. The other is dark, reflective, and deeply emotional. When things are flowing, they're magnetic. They turn conversations into revelations, simple moments into wild joy. But when life gets heavy, or when they feel boxed in, you'll see the other side. A sudden withdrawal, a flash of anger, a stubborn silence. This duality is not confusion. It's contrast. And like any fire, they flicker between warmth and danger depending on what surrounds them. The people who misunderstand them only see one part. But the people who love them, they hold space for both. Because to truly know a Sagittarius is to accept the storm within the sunlight. Life lesson. Your joy isn't fake just because it exists beside your pain. Both are real. Both are you. Let yourself hold the contradiction. It's part of your beauty. Have you ever been told you're too much just for feeling both joy and pain deeply? Right. I contain both fire and silence if you've lived this truth. And when Sagittarius feels deeply, they don't just retreat, they pursue. With a focus, a fire, and a force that few can match. Fact 16. When Sagittarius desires something, they pursue it relentlessly. There's a moment when something clicks for Sagittarius. They meet someone, feel a spark, glimpse a vision, and suddenly they're locked in. Not because they're impulsive, but because when a Sagittarius feels called, they answer. This is a hidden force within their psychology. When desire activates them, they pursue with total clarity. No hesitation, no manipulation, just direct soul-led motion. They won't wait for permission. They won't follow someone else's timeline. They act now because the moment feels sacred. This shows up in love. When they're drawn to someone, they'll go all in. Not with words, but with energy, action presence. They'll show up unexpectedly, passionately, and unapologetically. And this also shows up in life. When something calls them, whether it's a mountain, a mission, or a mystery, they go. They don't need certainty. They need alignment. And once they feel it, they'll chase it through forests, oceans, or entire belief systems. And yes, sometimes they crash. Sometimes the thing they're chasing disappears or turns out to be hollow. But they never regret the chase, because for them to feel desire and ignore it would be betrayal. Life lesson. You don't need to explain why something calls you. You just need to honor that it does. Your pursuit is sacred, even if others don't understand it. Have you ever pursued something or someone because it just felt right, even when it made no sense? Right. I trust the fire that calls me if this speaks to your path. But even while they're chasing fire, Sagittarius needs something most people don't expect. Not more noise, not more stimulation, but a daily rhythm that keeps them rooted, balanced between chaos and peace. Fact 15. Sagittarius needs harmony in their daily life, even if they don't admit it. They may look spontaneous, unstructured, wild, but here's the quiet truth. Sagittarius functions best when their daily life feels balanced. They don't like being micromanaged, true. But they also don't like waking up in chaos every day. They thrive in motion, yes, but not disorder. And they crave rhythm, not rigidity, but flow. Whether it's morning rituals, solo walks, focused work sessions, or evenings spent recharging in peace, Sagittarius needs systems that feel aligned, not imposed by others, but chosen by the self. This truth explains why some Sagittarius seem wildly productive at times while completely scattered at others. When their life supports their freedom, they soar. When their life restricts or overwhelms them, they start to rebel against everything. You might see them cancel plans, ghost conversations, or suddenly change jobs, not because they're flaky, but because their inner compass is screaming for recalibration. They're not resisting discipline, they're craving balance. And balance for Sagittarius doesn't look like control. It looks like freedom within a chosen structure. Life lesson. You don't have to be chaotic to be free. Your soul actually blossoms when your life is in harmony. Choose a rhythm that supports your flame, not one that smothers it. Do you feel more powerful when your life has structure but space too? Right. I thrive in sacred rhythm, if this is your truth. And yet, even with all their balance and brilliance, there's a stubborn streak in Sagittarius that most people completely misunderstand, especially when it comes to asking for help. Fact 14. Sagittarius chooses independence over asking for help. Sagittarius is one of the most giving signs in the zodiac, but when it comes to receiving, that's a different story. Here lies one of the most misunderstood psychological truths about them. Sagittarius would rather struggle alone than feel like a burden. They've learned sometimes the hard way that asking for help can come with strings, judgment, or control. So instead of reaching out, they dig deep. They rely on instinct. They push through the problem alone even when it breaks them. This isn't pride in the shallow sense, it's protection. Sagittarius knows that the wrong kind of help can cost more than it's worth. But what the world often misses is that this self-reliance doesn't mean they don't feel pain. It just means they process it differently, privately, on their own terms. If they trust you enough to ask for help, listen, that is not a sign of weakness. It's the rarest kind of intimacy they can offer. And if they don't ask, be patient. Support them from a respectful distance. Let them come to you not because you push, but because they feel safe. Life lesson. Your strength isn't proven by how much you carry alone. True power is knowing when solitude protects you and when connection heals you. Have you ever stayed silent instead of asking for help even when you needed it? Right. I heal in solitude, but I value safe connection if this resonates. And yet, while Sagittarius resists being told what to do, there's something else they resist even more, being told how to think. Fact 13. Sagittarius rarely accepts advice unless it comes from experience. Sagittarius is curious, inquisitive, hungry for ideas, but offer them advice out of nowhere, they'll likely tune out. This is a core psychological pattern. Many misunderstand. Sagittarius resists unsolicited advice, not because they're arrogant, but because they trust lived experience over empty theory. They don't want rules, they want reasons. They don't want opinions, they want proof. They're not closed off. They just don't respond well to being told what to do. Especially when that advice comes from someone who hasn't lived what they're preaching. That's why they're often the advice givers in their circle. Not because they think they know better, but because they speak from the fire they've walked through. But Sagittarius will surprise you. When they admire someone's wisdom, when they see integrity behind the words, they'll listen deeply. They'll ask questions, and they'll even change their entire life direction in a single conversation if it feels real. What they reject is authority without soul, advice without understanding, words that try to box them in instead of set them free. Life lesson. You don't have to accept every voice around you. Trust the guidance that comes from truth, not ego. Sagittarius learns best through experience and teaches best through example. Have you ever rejected someone's advice because it didn't match your lived reality? Right. I follow wisdom, not authority. If this is your truth, but when Sagittarius finally opens up to a conversation, there's one rule they can't live without. One trait that makes or breaks every connection they form: radical, even brutal honesty. Fact 12. Sagittarius demands brutal honesty in communication. To lie to a Sagittarius is to cut the soul of the relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a small lie, a half-truth, something you were just trying to protect them from. They don't care about comfort, they care about clarity. This is one of their most intense psychological standards. Sagittarius values truth over harmony even when it hurts. They would rather hear something that stings than be protected by a pretty lie, because for them, trust is everything. Without honesty, there is no foundation. Without clarity, there is no connection. If you ask them for feedback, expect the real answer. If you hide something, expect distance. If you sugarcoat, expect suspicion. But here's the part most people miss. Sagittarius doesn't demand honesty just to control others. They demand it because they give it, even when it costs them. Even when it makes people uncomfortable. They offer raw, unfiltered truth as an act of respect. and they expect that same respect in return. If they know you'll tell them the truth, even when it's messy, you've earned their loyalty for life. Life lesson. Your words don't have to be perfect. They have to be real. For Sagittarius, truth isn't a weapon, it's a bridge. Speak it, and you'll be met with fire. Hold it back, and the fire walks away. Have you ever walked away from someone because you could no longer trust their words? Right. I build with truth, or I walk away if this is your truth. And when it comes to romance, especially Sagittarius men, the need for passion and truth isn't just psychological. It's spiritual, and it shows up in who they love and how they love. Fact 11. Sagittarius. Men are passionate and drawn to active, engaged partners. He doesn't want someone to sit beside him quietly and admire the view. He wants someone who runs with him, questions with him, and dares with him. Sagittarius. Men don't fall in love the traditional way. They fall in love through motion, through laughter, through shared adrenaline. Their attraction is psychological and rooted in one very specific need: active energy. They're not asking for perfection, but they are wired to pursue partners who match their flame. Someone who's curious, alive, ready to explore and push the edge of experience. And no, this doesn't mean you need to climb a mountain tomorrow, but it does mean you have to be awake to life. Because what turns them off faster than anything is complacency. They crave passion, conversation, momentum, not because they're thrill seekers, but because they're soul seekers. They fall in love with spirit, not surface. And if your energy calls them deeper, they'll follow it far beyond what you thought possible. But if you become passive, predictable, disengaged, they'll start to drift, sometimes physically, but always emotionally. Life lesson. In love. Sagittarius men aren't searching for stability, they're searching for a mirror of their flame. If you keep your fire burning, they'll never stop dancing with it. Have you ever felt someone pull away? Not from lack of love, but from lack of aliveness. Right. I need passion to stay engaged. If this truth has shaped your love life. And the same goes for Sagittarius women, but in an entirely different way. For her, it's not about just movement. It's about newness. And without it, her soul begins to dim. Fact 10. Sagittarius women need new experiences to stay lit from within. She's not bored. She's just outgrown the space she's in. A Sagittarius woman can be happy for a long time, but only if her world keeps expanding. The moment it contracts, she starts to lose color. This is a deep psychological code in her nature. Newness keeps her soul alive. It doesn't have to be dramatic. She doesn't need to uproot her entire life every month. But she does need fresh energy. New ideas, new foods, new faces, new philosophies. Something that sparks her curiosity and makes her remember, yes, I'm still evolving. You'll see her eyes change when she hears a story she's never heard before. You'll feel her spirit wake up when she lands in a new city, walks a new street, touches a new texture of life. This is how she reconnects to herself. Through experience, through sensation, through expansion. If a partner wants to love her well, they don't need to buy grand gestures. They need to invite her into discovery. The unknown is where her heart breathes best. Life lesson. Stagnation is not safety. For the Sagittarius woman, routine is a slow death of spirit. Her light stays on when she keeps moving towards something she hasn't yet touched. Do you crave constant evolution, even in small ways? Right. I feel most alive when I'm discovering if this speaks to you. But with all this need for movement, There's one thing Sagittarius can't tolerate for long boredom in conversation. Because their mind, it's always running faster than their mouth can keep up. Fact 9. Sagittarius quickly disconnects from boring or surface-level conversations. It's not personal, it's neurological. Sagittarius minds are wired for velocity. They move fast. They ask questions that leap over small talk and dive straight into meaning. And when a conversation gets stuck on shallow topics, repetitive loops, or dead energy, they start to fade. Not because they're rude, because their brain is literally designed to seek stimulation. This is a key psychological trait Sagittarius disengages when their mind isn't being fed. They don't fake interest well. They'll try. They'll smile. But eventually they'll zone out. Not to be disrespectful, but because their energy is moving somewhere more alive, more interesting, more true. Want to capture their attention. Challenge their ideas. Ask bold questions. Explore abstract thought. Don't just talk about what you did today. Talk about what you felt while you were doing it. What it taught you. What it made you question. Sagittarius lights up when a conversation turns into a journey. And once they're engaged, they'll talk for hours, open their soul, laugh like fire, and teach you things about yourself you never even considered. Life lesson. If your thoughts don't inspire you, they won't inspire Sagittarius either. Feed your own mind and theirs will meet you halfway. Have you ever felt like you were physically present but mentally somewhere else during a boring conversation? Right. My mind needs fuel to stay present if you've lived this. And when they do find someone who feeds their mind, especially in social settings, their flame grows brighter. Sagittarius at their core is a social fire. But not every gathering is created equal. Fact 8. Sagittarius men are fueled by fun and social freedom. A Sagittarius man in his element is a force to witness. He walks into a gathering and the energy shifts. Not because he demands attention, but because his very presence says, this is a space where life is meant to be lived. This isn't just extroversion, it's psychological wiring. Sagittarius men come alive in environments that allow them to express joy, movement, and unfiltered authenticity. He doesn't thrive in stiff dinners or heavy silence. He thrives where music is playing, where people are laughing, where ideas are flowing like drinks. And on his birthday, don't just bring a gift. Bring energy. Bring people he loves. Bring adventure. Because for him, celebration isn't a luxury. It's medicine. It reminds him who he is. A fire sign who lights up others just by showing up as himself. He isn't always the loudest in the room, but when he feels seen, free, and welcome, he becomes the spark everyone gathers around. And when the party's over, he'll remember how you made him feel, not just on the outside, but in his core. Life lesson. Sagittarius men don't chase shallow attention. They're drawn to spaces that let them fully express their joy. Make room for their freedom and they'll light your world in return. Have you ever felt like a space brought you back to life? Right? I thrive where I can be fully myself if you've experienced this. But while Sagittarius men shine through energy, Sagittarius women often seduce through something subtler humor, not just as a joke, but as a spiritual connector. Fact 7. Sagittarius. Women are magnetically drawn to humor and emotional lightness. She doesn't fall in love because you check all the boxes. She falls in love because you make her laugh in a way that feels like healing. This is one of her core psychological frequencies. Humor is her soul's language, not forced jokes, not rehearsed wit, but that kind of shared laughter that feels like oxygen for the spirit. Sagittarius. Women see life as a game of meaning, and if you can play with it, joke with it, Find levity in it. You've already walked halfway into her heart. She loves when you laugh at yourself, when you find beauty in awkwardness, when you let the tension go and just live, because laughter to her is proof of depth. Only those who've seen pain know how sacred joy really is. And if you can share that with her, she'll never forget you. She doesn't need grand declarations. She needs moments that feel real. Moments where the soul smiles before the lips do. Life lesson. Joy is not a mask, it's a gateway. For Sagittarius, women humor isn't surface. It's sacred intimacy in disguise. Have you ever felt more connected to someone because they made you laugh during your darkest moment? Right. Laughter is my love language, if this lives in you. But even with all this levity, there's a fire inside Sagittarius that doesn't always pause. Sometimes it leaps. And not every leap lands clean. Fact 6. Sagittarius often acts before thinking and learns by impact. They don't mean to cause trouble. They don't mean to break things. But sometimes their fire moves faster than their foresight. This is one of the most human and often humbling psychological realities about Sagittarius. They act on instinct and think about the consequences later. It's not carelessness, it's their nature. Their decisions are fueled by intuition, curiosity, and emotion, not overthinking. And in many ways, this is what makes them magical. They move when others stall. They risk when others retreat. They say yes when the world says wait. But this also means sometimes they leap too soon. Sometimes they speak too quickly. Sometimes they burn bridges without realizing they were still standing on them. The pain doesn't come from the fallout. It comes from the realization that their fire lit something they didn't intend to destroy. But here's the gift Sagittarius learns fast. Not through theory, not through warning, through experience. Every mistake becomes a scar of wisdom. Every fallout becomes a spiritual upgrade. And with each lesson, their fire becomes more refined. Life lesson. Impulse is your teacher, not your enemy. Let every leap, even the wrong ones, guide you closer to the clarity only Sagittarius can earn through action. Have you ever made a decision too quickly, but it changed you in the best way? Right. I learned through motion, not hesitation. If this truth belongs to you, and if there's one thing they fear more than falling, it's being trapped. Sagittarius can handle almost anything, except losing their freedom. Fact 5. Sagittarius fears losing their freedom more than almost anything. You can hurt them. You can even betray them. But if there's one thing that will make a Sagittarius soul shut down completely, it's feeling trapped. This is not just a quirk. It's not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's a deep psychological structure. Sagittarius equates freedom with survival. They don't just want independence, they need it like lungs need oxygen, like fire needs air, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental. The moment Sagittarius feels boxed in, controlled, or confined, they start looking for the nearest door even if they love what's inside the room. This isn't about disloyalty, it's about integrity. They want to stay. But not if it means shrinking. Not if it means censoring their voice. Not if it means giving up the very thing that makes them feel alive, their ability to choose. And yes, this fear has consequences. They've ended relationships too soon. They've walked away from things they later missed. But they'd rather risk the pain of leaving than endure the slow suffocation of staying where their spirit can't move. Life lesson. If someone asks you to give up your freedom to prove your love, it's not love. Sagittarius thrives in spaces where truth, movement, and individuality are not punished but protected. Have you ever ended something good because it no longer felt free? Right. Freedom is my heartbeat. If this truth is part of your story, and that freedom, they'll offer it to you in return, but only if you earn it with one thing: direct, fearless honesty. Fact 4. Sagittarius craves direct, genuine interaction. Anything less turns them away. Sagittarius doesn't play games. They don't do passive aggression. And if you think silence will teach them a lesson, they'll teach you what moving on really looks like. This is a raw, non-negotiable psychological boundary for them. They need clear, open, honest communication. They would rather hear something painful than feel something fake. They want real words, real emotion, real clarity. Not hints, not power plays, not masked manipulation disguised as care. In love, this is especially true. They connect through authenticity. And when you tell them what you feel clearly, even clumsily, they feel safe. But the moment you start hiding your truth to control the dynamic, they'll feel the fire of mistrust starting to burn. It's not about perfection. It's about sincerity. They know people get scared, hesitate, mess up. But they also know when someone is being real, and that's the currency they live on. Give them the truth and they'll respect you forever. Hide it and you may never get a second chance. Life lesson. Connection without clarity is chaos. Sagittarius can handle pain, but they can't build intimacy on a foundation of fog. Have you ever pulled away from someone simply because they wouldn't speak their truth? Right. I bond through honesty, not confusion, if this has been your path. And when that honesty is there, when trust opens the door, Sagittarius shows up in a way few ever forget. Not just physically, but emotionally, especially in moments that others take for granted. Fact 3. A Sagittarius kiss isn't just a kiss. It's emotional truth in action. They don't kiss everyone, even if they flirt, laugh, touch, tease. When a Sagittarius finally leans in and kisses you, you're not just feeling affection. You're experiencing a decision. Because for Sagittarius, a kiss is a message. It says, I trust you. I'm showing up. This moment is real. They don't perform intimacy. They embody it. And while the world might treat kisses casually, Sagittarius doesn't. When they kiss, their mind quiets. Their instincts speak, and their truth, emotional, spiritual, energetic, pours through that connection. It's not just lips, it's memory, it's meaning, it's fire without the words. And that's why you still remember it, even if it was months ago, even if they're no longer in your life, because that kiss wasn't rehearsed. It was a doorway into something that felt sacred, even if it didn't last. Life lesson. Intimacy isn't always loud or grand. Sometimes it's a single moment that tells the whole truth. Sagittarius loves with action more than words, and sometimes their kiss says everything. Have you ever felt a connection through a kiss that changed how you saw someone forever? Right. I remember the kiss that told me everything if this happened to you. But while Sagittarius loves with intensity and expresses with fire, it's their thoughts, their deep conversations, their hunger for meaning that truly lingers once they're gone. Fact 2. Sagittarius leaves a void where their conversations once lived. It's not always the goodbye that lingers. It's the silence that comes after. The silence where deep conversations used to live. The kind of conversations that weren't small, safe, or scripted, but wide, soulful, and alive. This is one of the most beautiful psychological legacies of Sagittarius. They leave behind an echo of thought. They might not have stayed. The timing may have broken. But the depth they offered, whether in friendship, love, or chance connection, stays. You remember the way they challenged your thinking without ever shaming you. how they let you speak without interrupting, then dropped a single sentence that unraveled your whole belief system in the best way. They didn't just talk. They awakened. And long after they're gone, you still hear their questions. You still feel the way their curiosity pulled out parts of you you didn't even know existed. Because Sagittarius doesn't talk to impress. They talk to connect, reveal, and elevate. And if they loved you even briefly, you carry the blueprint of their mind in the way you now think differently. Life lesson. Words can die, but insight lives. And when Sagittarius speaks from soul, their thoughts become a permanent part of your awakening. Have you ever missed someone, not for their presence, but for the way they made you think? Write their words still live in me if a Sagittarius ever changed your mind forever. But all of this, every flame, every truth, every contradiction, leads to one final reality. One sacred trio that lives at the very core of every Sagittarius soul. Fact 1. Sagittarius is built from tranquility, spontaneity, and sacred freedom. At the center of Sagittarius is not chaos, not rebellion, not noise. It's a calm fire, a flame that flickers with purpose, that waits, watches, leaps when the soul says yes. This is the deepest psychological truth that shapes their destiny. Sagittarius lives at the intersection of inner peace, divine impulse, and the unshakable need to be free. They aren't wild, they are sacredly uncontained. They don't move because they're bored. They move because stillness for them must be chosen, not forced. They don't love unpredictably. They love in alignment when something feels like truth in motion. They don't reject structure out of arrogance. They reject it when it no longer serves their expansion. And in all of this, Sagittarius teaches one of the most powerful lessons in human existence, that you can be free and faithful, that you can be spontaneous and rooted, that you can be lighthearted and profound. They are not here to belong, they are here to blaze. Life lesson. You are not one thing. You are a divine contradiction, fluid, fiery, and sovereign. Don't choose between freedom and connection. Live in the space where both breathe together. Have you ever felt like your soul wasn't meant to fit, but to fly? Right. I am the sacred fire. If you know this truth lives in you. Closing transition. So now you've seen them. The 25 psychological truths that don't just describe Sagittarius, they explain them. They protect them. They liberate them. Because you, Sagittarius, were never here to be tamed. You were born to question, to awaken, to burn, and to remind the world what it means to live fully, speak fearlessly, and love without a cage. This has been the Sagittarius Flame. And if even one of these truths lives in you, you are not alone.